The following program is brought to you by PodcastOne Sportsnet.
This episode of the Steve Austin Show is sponsored in part by BetOnline.ag. Hey man, it's October, the greatest time of the year in sports. The NFL, college football, baseball playoffs, and we still have the NHL and NBA right around the corner. Are you looking for a place to make all your online wagers? Then head to betonline.ag and use promo code PodcastOne to receive a 50% sign-up bonus when signing up today. betonline.ag, your online sportsbook experts and the exclusive partner of the PodcastOne Sportsnet.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production.
From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah! Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from the mean streets of Los Angeles, California today. I'm sitting inside 317 Gimmick Street while I'm all cooped up. I'm looking out the window, and I see my metallic P 2003 Ford Focus sitting in my driveway. I didn't drive that car yesterday. The dude at the smog emissions place says, you got to drive this thing. So as soon as I get through opening up this show, sending this podcast to my producer, Sean, I'm going to unlock that damn car, start the motor, because I got the battery charged. With my handy jumper cables the other day, I got the battery charged, and I am going to put about 25 miles in Los Angeles traffic on that son of a bitch. And if that don't charge it up, if that don't clear out the damn smog, get the catalytic converter all juiced up and ready to go and pass my emissions test so I can get my 2018 tag on it, nothing will. As a matter of fact, I'm going to low-ride that son of a bitch. I got low-rider on a repeat loop. I got my Bluetooth boom box. I'm going to put up there in the damn front seat with me. I'm going to put Callie in the back. No, Callie likes to ride shotgun. I'll ride Callie in the shotgun. I'll put Moolah in the back. I'll put the Bluetooth speaker on the front right there by the windshield, and I'm going to low ride the streets of Los Angeles, California. You know, back in the day when Hershey the Wonder Dog was still with us, me and her were getting my 1995 Ford Bronco and prowl the streets of Marina Del Rey / Venice and fight crime. And you wouldn't believe some of the shit we got into, some of the scraps we got into, trying to protect the citizens, the good citizens of Los Angeles County. But we could only do so much, and then Hershey passed away, and I kind of stopped fighting crime out here, so I think it's about time I get up on it. And turns out I shipped my 95 Ford Bronco down there to Nevada to the Broken Skull Ranch 2.0, where it sits in my shop, and I drive it every time I go visit. But this time, I'm taking a different approach. I'm going to use a Metallic P Focus 2003, 65,000 original miles, second owner. And I'm a low ride. I'm going to prowl through these motherfucking streets, and ain't nobody getting away from me. Ain't nobody getting away from me. If you see me behind you and I got my flashers on, my blinkers on, my turn signals, my indicators, whatever the fuck you want to call them, if you see them on and I'm sitting there pointing out my window for you to pull your ass over, you might want to pull your ass over, because we can do things the easy way or we can do them the hard way. And that's all I got to say about that. I won't go into any more details. Of course, I'll have my seatbelt on. I'm going to keep safety first. I might even put Callie's seatbelt on her. Moolah can lay down in the back. She don't need a seatbelt. Got my cold steel broken skull pocket knife in my damn pocket. I don't really need anything else with all the martial arts skills. I took an online karate course the other day. I got on the computer and I was like, man, shit, you know, I had never done karate, judo, jiu-jitsu. I took a boxing class one time. That didn't end up really good. I got tired of holding my hands up. I just kicked the goddamn instructor in the balls. I said, he said, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. He kept boxing me in the ears. So I punted that motherfucker in the nuts. He stopped telling me to keep my hands up. Anyway, I figured if I'm going to start patrolling the mean streets of Los Angeles again, I better get some skills up. So I took a couple of online classes. And right now, when I get in that damn Ford Focus, I'm going to be rolling out with like a 6th-degree black belt in Taekwondo. I got a 5th-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu and in karate. Wing Chun. I'm only a 2nd-degree black belt in Wing Chun, but I think that's all I need. I got a strong wrestling game. I called Kurt Angle the other day. I called Brock Lesnar the other day. They have deep wrestling backgrounds, and I said, hey, school me up on this shit, and I FaceTimed them. They showed me a couple of holes and shit like that, so now I'm basically an all-American wrestler, too, so between the personal skills that I'm bringing to this game, along with my cold steel pocket knife, I'm going to whip this goddamn city in into shape. I am sick and tired of all the horse shit. All these motherfuckers running down the road just like I was on the damn highway the other day, going over to Burbank to drop my neon clock over at Curtis Clocks. Check him out on Instagram and Twitter at Curtis Clocks. He's the one that fixes all my neon clocks. I bought this clock from him about 8 years ago, and he's going to redo it and put some different neon tubes in it. But anyway, I was rolling down to Burbank the other day to Curtis's place, and man, I'm in my Yukon Denali hauling ass. I got my clock in the back, and this damn person in this white-ass Lexus, supposed to be a luxury car, kept changing lanes. There's 5 lanes. She changed 3 lanes. And I'm sitting there using my blinkers trying to go 1 lane away from her every single time to get on the 134 to head into Burbank, and not one damn time did they ever use their blinker. And when I pulled up next to them, there they were, talking on their iPhone, holding their hand right in front of them, driving with one hand. No, they couldn't use a goddamn blinker because one hand was on the steering wheel and the other was holding the phone. You ain't supposed to hold the phone when you're driving in Los Angeles, California, much less the whole state of California, because this is a hands-free state. I don't know why most of these damn people out here can't afford to get a wired headset or a fucking Bluetooth headset or get on your goddamn car system. Hell, I get on my Yukon, it hooks up automatically. Hell, I just start talking. I ain't got to have a hand on nothing. 2 hands on the steering wheel. 10 and 2. I got my foot on the damn gas and I only use 1 foot. That's how you drive. Right foot on the gas and on the brakes. And then I'm gonna fucking regulate these people. And then these motherfuckers that sit at the stoplights and the Priuses and all that other bullshit, the smart cars, the ones with their cigarette dangling out the damn window, they drive in a green car because they want to protect the environment and the ozone layer, but hell, fuck it. They're driving a Prius, so to compensate, they got a fucking cigarette dangling out of the hand on their mirror, and you see them sitting there dragging on the cigarette. And then finally they get tired of the motherfucker, and instead of stuffing the son of a bitch inside a goddamn ashtray that is provided in the goddamn car, they just said, hey, fuck it, I'll just flick it on the goddamn road. Someone else will pick it up. Or, you see, it's these motherfuckers that piss me off. I won't even get into those sumbitches doing all the vaping. When you see that car rolling down the highway and it's a new car, a high technology car, and it's like a scene out of that old Cheech and Chong movie, Up in Smoke. Yeah, that movie's about 35 years old, but you get the picture, and it's one individual smoking their fucking head off. It's 2018, people. It's fucking October. It's about to be 2019. With all the technology, the medical advances that we got, does no one give anybody the heads up anymore that smoking is hazardous to your health? If you've ever wanted to quit anything in your life, why don't you just quit now? Grow a backbone, fucking spinal fluid, and just say, hey, fuck it. I'm throwing the nicotine and tar away. I don't need it no more. And just quit, because you ain't doing yourself any fucking favors. Anyway, I digress. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Patrolling the mean streets of Los Angeles in my 2003 Ford Focus, metallic P. Right now, I've got some black walls on there. When those tires wear off, because that is a front-wheel drive car, and that son of a bitch, when I use that power brake, haul ass around them corners, and then when I light it up at the stoplights, try to chase a perpetrator, a breaker of the law, I'm going to have him some bitches smoked off here pretty quick. I'm going to put a set of white letter BF Goodrich all-terrain TAs on that motherfucker. I don't know if anybody's ever done that with a 2003 Ford Focus, but goddamn I am. Anyway, fuck it. I've already worked myself into a shoot. Let me kick on my goddamn computer. Hell, let me tell you about my guest today. Gregory Irons, independent professional wrestler. Good friend of mine. We talk on the phone all the time. Rolled into town. Some people was doing a documentary on him. He stopped by the crib over here at 317 Gimmick Street. He was working a shot, working in the squared circle. I said, hey, man, come on over. We'll shoot the breeze. And he's got a story in the back half of the podcast about a very sensitive injury that he incurred or suffered inside the squared circle. We're shooting the breeze. He talks about the injury. It's just a bullshit session with me and Gregory Irons, my good buddy from, I think he's from Cleveland, Ohio. Why he wants to live in Cleveland, Ohio, I have no idea, but that's where the kid's from. And No disrespect to Cleveland, Ohio. I used to dig wrestling there at Gun Arena. I'm just fucking with him. Anyway, before we get to Gregory Irons, listen to this shit. October means one thing in sports and one thing only: excitement. NFL, college football, and now MLB playoffs. Man, Dodgers game. I'm fixing to watch the game right now. Every pitch, every swing, every play is important. And if that ain't enough, we have the NHL and NBA seasons right around the corner. Are you looking for a place for all your online wagers? Well, don't sweat it, because our friends at BetOnline.ag have got you covered. BetOnline.ag is an exclusive partner of PodcastOne Sportsnet and our go-to for online sports betting. You need someone to get behind? These are the guys. And you best believe that I'm tracking college football. This weekend we got Oklahoma versus TCU, University of Michigan versus Michigan State, and Alabama versus Tennessee. Roll Tide. So get in on the action and head over to betonline.ag and use promo code PodcastOne. That's PodcastOne to receive a 50% sign-up bonus today. One more time. BetOnline.ag and use promo code PodcastOne to start winning with your online sportsbook experts.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
We just started a podcast. I don't even know what we're talking about, but Gregory Irons just got over here at 317 Gimmick Street with the film crew. I like that introduction, Gregory Irons.
I'm not.
You want to correct me? Is it Iron? Is Irons? What do you want me to call you? The GI tract.
God damn it.
G.I. Joe.
You know that it's singular, not plural. We've been through this, okay? Iron. No S.
Man.
No S.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Why are you just laying all these bullshit voicemails on my voicemail machine, on my iPhone, man? I looked down and, I deliberately didn't take your call because I knew it was you.
Yeah.
And I looked down, it's a 2-minute and 37-second message from you to me. Where you cussing me out. And, dude, I think you're a pretty damn nice guy, but you're cussing me like a damn dog. And not only are you cussing someone who's your senior in their business of professional wrestling, but also a global icon and national treasure to millions and millions of people all over the damn world.
Yeah.
And you're laying a damn beat down on me on the voicemail. What's up with that?
Well, see,
what went wrong, Gregory? Why are you so angry?
You fail to realize that you started this whole thing. You're the one that started with the voicemails. You left me a voicemail where you specifically said that you wanted to have a 30-minute time limit pro wrestling match at PWG, and I felt kind of bad because I used to look up to you. You botched your own promo. I have that as evidence. I don't know if you recall that.
I did.
You even said
I was rusty, but I ain't rusty no more.
Oh, yes, that's so.
I've owned you in the last few promos.
I mean,
that one where you tried, I don't know, you were stammering and stuff like that. I said, man, Gregory got all tongue-tied trying to return the promo. And then it was like you. Then you got in a groove, so you've been cutting some good shit on me.
Thank you.
Props.
I learned from the best.
What are you doing in Los Angeles?
I got Championship Wrestling from Hollywood tomorrow.
What federation is that? Who you working? What's going to be the card?
It's me and Peter Avalon, and I don't know what else is on the card, but they do TV tapings every month, so it's going to be good stuff.
When they do the TV tapings, where they played on?
I mean, I don't know the networks offhand. I should probably have done my research, but I know it's on television. That's
but this ain't bar wrestling. I just had Joey Ryan on the show the other day, and I knew you guys have done business in the past.
We have done some
bar.
Yeah, it's not bar wrestling. Championship Wrestling Hollywood. They used to be affiliated with the NWA, but they are no longer. So
everybody used to be affiliated with the NWA. And
yeah,
such great historical NWA.
Yeah.
What do I say? It's NWA, and then everybody just said they used to be affiliated with them.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Because once Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan, once he bought it, all of a sudden, because anybody who paid X amount of dollars could just make their indie promotion affiliated with the NWA, but he pulled all that shit out right after he bought the NWA. So now, next to no one is affiliated because he just wanted to rebuild the brand.
Dude, what is this federation?
Championship Wrestling for Hollywood?
No, Billy Corgan's.
Billy Corgan, he runs the NWA now. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I heard about it, but I mean, I ain't heard them do no shows, do no TV tapings, or seen it on TV.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of that. There's a lot of 10 pounds of gold videos on YouTube. Have you seen those?
Yep.
Because they were doing a lot of that leading up to All In. So I don't know. I feel like they're really just trying to build their brand by working a little bit with ROH, and obviously they're working with All In. And now that Cody's got the belt, I think that's going to help give the NWA some renewed exposure.
Hey, man, were you at All In? I don't want to beat a dead horse because I've been talking about All In for the last few weeks with a lot of people on the indie scene, which has been a breath of fresh air for me to talk to people on the indie scene because it's something that I never did. I was always in a territory-based system.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch pay-per-view?
I did, and I had a lot of friends on the pay-per-view, and I I was really just happy for all of them. I mean, it comes down to it's like,
what a crowd.
Dude, it was crazy. Like, because, I mean, you were in the trenches, you know, firsthand. Like, after WCW closed and ECW closed, like, I never thought that there would be a time in wrestling where it would be possible for just an independent guy or just someone who wasn't in WWE to make money and profit. And not only did guys on that show make money and profit, but it's like just overall, the business, like, independent wrestling is flourishing, and to have them pack a whole stadium based on independent wrestling, like it was incredible show.
I saw the highlights of the show. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole show. I'm going to.
Yeah.
And man, that crowd was so hot. Now, the stuff I saw, they never once tried to hijack the show.
Right.
Was that true?
Yeah. No, I think they're.
What do you think about the crowds these days hijacking the show? I mean, are they hijacking the show because they paid their $20, $50, whatever it costs getting a damn show? They can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
How do you look at it? You're still in the ring. You're still relevant. Yeah. I'm the old curmudgeon on the sidelines.
Oh, come on.
Global icon and national treasure. Don't forget.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it makes for good television. I know that. I mean, it's genuine reactions from the crowd, but it makes it harder for the guys in the ring. But I mean, it all comes down to, it's like, I feel like sometimes a lost art is, calling in the ring and impromptu stuff and thinking on the fly. So it's like, I think those scenarios just make us as performers have to step up our game and change what we're doing and adapt to how the crowd's reacting.
Man, it's a whole different system. I mean, the business changed a lot since I got out in 2003, but when I just watched that crowd, I was like, man, that's a gas pedal crowd, man. They're popping all the good stuff.
Yeah.
There's some, maybe, was there any This Is Awesome chants?
Oh, yeah.
So you get it, but I mean, they're following along with the match. Sometimes it seems to me like they start just chanting, "This is awesome," and really, I don't see what's so awesome about it.
Yeah, it's almost like it's just they feel like that's something you have to do now. Is like when something big happens, instead of just clapping or cheering, it's "This is awesome," just something that's being in their brain.
The barometer for awesome has been lowered a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you concur or not?
I think so. Yeah. I just feel like it's something to chant now.
Here's my point. I'm just saying, like, from when we were entrenched in the Monday Night Wars, and I want to be the grizzled veteran. Look at this camera, little action. And this is your camera. I'm going to get in your camera. I'll get this one, too. Man, when it was the Monday Night Wars, dude, I mean, it was everything but the kitchen sink by both companies giving, main event, Monday Night Raws, Monday Night Nitros, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And shit, I mean, and then everybody was going out on a limb. I was doing all the things I was doing, DX, I mean, NWO. It was awesome. And so, dude, you had that. That was how competitive it was. And now, without that, things have died down a little bit or changed.
Yeah. I mean, but like, it's pretty crazy to see like what the Bucks and Bullet Club has done for independent wrestling as far as like,
absolutely.
I mean, like I don't think independent wrestling is competition for WWE, but it's definitely like made its mark. I mean, when you go in a Hot Topic and you see T-shirts that aren't WWE and like people are buying it, and like when I go into the gym and I see people that I wouldn't expect wearing Bullet Club shirts, it's weird because it feels like NWO all over again.
Yeah, but you know what my takeaway from watching the highlights of All In was?
Yeah.
Man, that was a hot-ass crowd there to see, pro wrestling, sports entertainment, same shit, okay, in 2018.
Yeah.
And, man, they were friggin' crazy. And Chicago's a great wrestling town anyway.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, and people came from probably all over the states.
Right.
And probably some from other countries to see this pay-per-view. That's how cool it was. But, man, it was such an organic, and I hate that word, but I'll use it, organic crowd. They weren't swayed by anything, man. It was just like, what's going to surprise us? You had your matches on the card. You had your card that they promoted.
Yeah.
But they kept surprising them. And then, Jericho comes out. I mean, everything was just bam, 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 bam. It wasn't like, okay, if you're watching, like WWE main roster, and I love WWE, is where I come from.
Yeah.
But, it's like, okay, got to get through this guy, and oh man, they're pushing this guy, but I'm not really into him, but they pushed him heavily, and I got to weather this to get to finally what I want to see.
Yeah.
Man, everybody was so hot. I mean, and just the kind of the different work styles and just a different talent, it just brought together a combustible element. So I love just the infectious enthusiasm, the nature of that crowd. When you compare it to a WWE crowd or like a Monday Night Raw, I'm seeing television on TV, man, that was a hot-ass crowd. You don't get a hot crowd that often anymore like you did back in the day when we were running roughshod.
Yeah, and I feel like, what it comes down to at the end of the day, I feel like those fans are the most diehard fans that came out to that show, and I think they realized that they were part of something historic, and they wanted to make it feel as big as possible, not just for the guys in the ring, but for the people watching at home. So there could be potential once it was all said and done for an All-In 2. And I think without a doubt, after, seeing the reported numbers for the pay-per-view online and how much merch sales they did, I've got no doubt that there's going to be an All-In 2.
The fall's most badass new drama has arrived. Don't miss the incredible new series, All American, Wednesdays, only on the CW. Suspense and superhero mastermind Greg Berlanti, producer of massive hits like Riverdale and Black Lightning, has brought his magic touch to the sports genre. Inspired by local football hero Spencer Paysinger, All American is about a high school football phenom from South Central who gets recruited to play in Beverly Hills. Taye Diggs dominates as Beverly High football coach Billy Baker. As a former star player in his own right, Billy sees himself in Spencer. And coming off 2 losing seasons, he also sees Spencer as his ticket to job security. Billy promises Spencer the chance to someday go pro and give his family a better life. The relationship between a coach and player who each have everything to lose is the driving force, leading to some intense drama, both good and bad. All-American is a league of its own, and that's the bottom line. Don't miss the incredible new series, All-American, Wednesdays, only on the CW and the CW app. Yesterday was your birthday.
It was.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
30.
32.
32?
32, man.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
How you feeling?
I feel, I don't know, I feel like 22. I don't know, like mentally, physically, I'm not really hurting. I don't feel much different.
How long you been in business?
12 years.
12 years?
12 years.
How much longer you want to be in business?
In some aspect, I always want to be a part of it because I'm just so passionate about it. I don't know. We talked about it on the phone and off air, but it's like, I feel like I've always had a better wrestling mind than a wrestling body. And that goes back to having cerebral palsy and everything. And just like based on the guys that I've learned from and come up with. And I don't know. I feel like I'm really good at like psychology. And I used to help write TV in Cleveland back in the day with, Johnny Gargano and a guy by the name of Joe Dombrowski who does some stuff for Ring of Honor now. It was very, I don't want to say bottom of the barrel, but it was very, it was only on Sports Time Ohio, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like a big production or anything, but it was a good learning experience to understand like how to build a card and like how to time out a show. And like, it was just little shit like that I didn't realize that down the line, like this would be something that I'm more interested in. So, obviously my first love would always be being in the ring, but if it came down to writing or producing or any of that stuff, if I were ever afforded that opportunity on a bigger scale, I would love to do that.
Okay, when you say you know how to build a card and time out a show, what do you mean timing out a show?
Basically with, whatever promos you have scheduled for the show and match times. I mean, you got to make sure everything's running on cue because, you have, if you have a 60-minute show, you got commercials, maybe you have some of the commercials that you have locally that you're allowed to air. So you got to factor those in when timing the show. And basically, you're not timing out exactly 60 minutes. You're somewhere along the lines of between, I think the show usually panned it out to be about 44 to 50 minutes if you factor in like our commercials that like we were able to go out and get advertisers for. So, yeah, that's timing out a show.
How busy are you, Stan?
Pretty active, man. I've been doing a lot of stuff up in Canada. One of my favorite home promotions, Alpha One Wrestling, where, man, they really give me a lot of freedom to do just a lot of different cool things. Like I team with a kid by the name of Anthony Green, who I really enjoy a lot. He's based out of the Boston area, does a lot of stuff for like Beyond Wrestling and Limitless Wrestling. They kind of just threw us together as a tag team. I really didn't know too much about Anthony. I seen some of his work, but then we just got thrown together. So I looked at his Twitter, and we were going to be a team. And I saw that on his bio, he called himself the Uncle Jesse of pro wrestling. So he had put a thing out on Twitter saying, what should the tag team name of Gregory Irons and Anthony Green be? And I sent him a message. I said, delete that tweet. Our tag team name is Cooler House. You're Uncle Jesse. I'm going to be Aunt Becky, Full House style. And we just kind of rolled with it from there. I was supposed to be a heel. We were supposed to be heels, but we came out to the Fuller House theme, and as soon as we came out, no one could dislike us coming out to Carly Rae Jepsen. So I didn't really turn babyface, but the crowd kind of turned me a babyface. So it kind of gave me the opportunity to grow as a character a little more with Anthony. And I actually just had one of my favorite matches ever there a few weeks back with a guy by the name of Josh Alexander. He's been wrestling for about as long as I have, 12 years. Just one of the best wrestlers, not just out of Canada, but just all around. And it's unfortunate right now he's got a travel ban from coming into the United States because it's just one of those things where, Canadians aren't allowed to come over here and make money as wrestlers, but we as Americans can go over there and make money. So I think the situation was he got pulled in one day by the border, and so now he's got a ban, and he tried to get a visa so he can work in the States, and he got denied of it. And it's kind of bullshit, man, because he's so great. It was just one of those things when working him in a match, it's like you could tell calling it was going to be good, and then in that moment, it was like you could just feel the crowd and feel the energy, and it was like, man, this is really good. So like I've been doing a lot with that kid, and there's a place up in Ohio called Olde Wrestling that I really love. It's run by a guy by the name of Marion Fontaine. He's a worker too, and one of my close friends based out of Ohio. The idea of Olde Wrestling is it's a promotion based entirely in the 1930s. So everyone that works there, they sort of modify their character to adapt to what you would be in the 1930s, or you just completely change your character. Like, for example, me, Gregory Irons, I didn't know what I wanted to be have my character be 5 years ago when he started Olde Wrestling, but I just thought it was funny to shave my beard into a mustache, so I figured I would do that. And I got some long blue tights, and when I shaved my beard into a mustache, the ring announcer, Pedro, said, man, you look like you should be a guy from El Paso or something. So I was like, all right, sure. So they called me the El Paso Kid, Gregory Irons. I went out and I got a sombrero. And so like I kind of have a Mexican heritage, but not really, because I'm from El Paso, and I just kind of say arriba and si. I've been having like a great time doing that. Actually, I was telling you a little about it. The last match I worked for Olde Wrestling, it was a fair show in Indiana. And one of the other guys I'm teaming with in another promotion, because I'm really trying to show my range as a performer. Up in Buffalo, I team with a guy by the name of RJ City, who's done a lot of cool stuff. He actually, he's a gentleman that worked with David Arquette.
Yeah, he was just over. I saw another name.
Yeah, so RJ is a good dude, and we just have a good chemistry, and like we're supposed to be bad guys, but like crowd finds us hilarious, and we just have good chemistry together. But RJ was talking to me, and he told me about a match that he saw with you and Jake Roberts from a house show in '96, and he saw it somewhere online, and he told me, you guys start the match, you guys tie up, you get Jake in a headlock, Jake shoots you off, you hit him with a big tackle, pin him, 1, 2, 3. And so when I heard that, I was like, what the hell? So I guess Jake gets on the mic, begs for another chance, because at the time he was doing, he's born again Christian. He's having this other chance in life. He wants another chance in the match. You give him another chance. You guys work a basic match. Eventually, Jake runs a comeback. You stop him. Get on that headlock. He shoots you off. Big tackle. You pin him. 1, 2. Big kick out. The last second, crowd explodes. So with that in mind, I was doing this fair show for Olde Wrestling, and I pulled Marion Fontaine aside because I was working with a bigger cat. His name is Sue Jackson. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with him, but I figured I had that idea in my head, and I said, if there was a show to try that out on, it was a fair show with a bunch of kids, So I told Fontaine I wanted to try. He said, let's do it. So I went to the ring, and I had the announcer really hype it up because it was the main event. So I told the announcer, say it's the main event of the evening, do the Japanese in-ring introductions, say that it's a 60-minute time limit, one fall to a finish. And so he does all that. So the crowd's really hyping. They hate Sue Jackson. Like they really, these kids want to see him get beat down because he's been a pain in the butt all night. So we do the deal, and we circle, block up. Sue gets me in a headlock. I take him back. He kind of rakes my eyes a little bit. Ref doesn't see it. He takes off. He tackles me, pins me, 1, 2, 3, and just the air comes out of the crowd. Not like they feel like they've been gypped, but like they really wanted to see him lose, and like that's it. So I begged for another chance, and luckily Sue was with a guy that's in the Mafia, 1930s Mafia. So the Mafia guy gets on the mic, says, I don't want Gregory just beat up. I want him taken out. So we restart the match, blah, blah, blah. Do the tackle for a false finish. Kick out at 2.5. Crowd explodes. Easiest match I've ever done.
What was the finish of the match? Finish was... Did you go over or he go over?
I went over. So I had Sue... we did a couple falsies after the tackle. I went for a crossbody off the second. He caught me. I had him put me in a trio woe, like slam me in the corner for a trio woe. And he comes charging. I sit up. He hits the buckle. I stand about on the top rope now, crossbody, simple finish, 1, 2, 3. Kids ate it up.
You and I talk on the phone quite often.
Yeah.
I know you're going to have a match with Flying Brian Pillman's kid, Brian Pillman Jr.
Yep.
You had the match.
Yeah.
How did it go? How is he?
Great. I mean, so Brian's only been working like a year, and it was a match I was really looking forward to. And just, man, he listens well, and he really wants to learn. And it was funny because I was always a fan of Brian. Like, as far as, like, when I started doing the bad guy shtick, like, a lot of his promos and just the loose cannon thing, like, the idea of doing stuff to, like, not only be controversial, but to, I don't know, just to get a rise out of people. Like, I took a lot of that from Brian. So to be able to work with his kid and, Brian was writing me leading up to it and just like how much he was looking forward to it and just wanted to learn stuff from me. And it's like, it's weird to be in that position where it's like, here I am, like, having cerebral palsy, never thought I'd be a wrestler. And like now, like I'm in this position where I could teach Brian Pillman's kid like a thing or two as a wrestler. And he hasn't worked much as a bad guy. So the story was, I did a match for welterweight wrestling, which is run by Joe Dombrowski, which I mentioned earlier. And the idea is like the weight class is 185 and under. The cruiserweight thing is big, 205. So this is welterweight, 185 and under. And the deal was there's a little group from Canada / trained by Lance Storm. Pillman was kind of associating with that group, but he was a babyface. So they did an award ceremony for Brian Pillman Sr. Brian accepted it, and he was on crutches on the time, which I found very ironic that he was kind of in the same situation as his dad. And my match was next, and I looked at Brian, who was on commentary, and I basically said, like, hey, man, like, I've always looked up to your dad. Like, he's a true inspiration. Like, I'm proud of him getting this award, and I'm proud to know you, man. And I just hope that, like, my match tonight, like, something that he would be proud of. So then after the match, Brian shakes my hand, and he goes, in all sincerity, if my dad was around to see you and know that you're a professional wrestler, he would just be ashamed. You don't belong in this business. And I just kind of have this moment where I'm like, come on, really, man? You're going to do this on the mic right now? And he just basically beats the shit out of me with this crutch and leaves me laying. And so it sets up this match where it's like, the idea is I don't belong in the business. And he's going to prove that, like, a freak show like Gregory Irons, a guy with cerebral palsy, like you don't belong. So my deal with the story is, like, I told Brian, I felt like the idea is, you have to be the wrestler and try to out wrestle me in the beginning. And maybe I get a thing or two up on you. And, so it's almost one of those deals where it's like, oh, I kind of underestimated the situation. And then it just kind of breaks down. So it's like more of a brawl. We had relaxed rules. So I didn't want to, the match after us was using chairs and like some gimmicks, so I didn't want to go too hard. But I thought for the story, he had a knee brace from his injury. He just came back, doesn't have the crutches anymore. So we'll get to the point where he gets pissed off. And I'm trying to bring shades of his dad out of him with the eyes and the selling, and I'm letting him know, like, hey, man, like, this is going to be good. Trying to lead him being a heel for like the second time ever. I have him pull off the brace, and he's going to hit me with the brace. And he misses. So then he misses with the brace, and he hits me with something else, and I'm down on the ground, and he stomps me, and he puts the brace on my arm. He goes up to the top rope, goes for a leg drop. I move. So he leg drops the brace, so he hits the back of his knee. So then I sell to the corner. He comes charging at me. He comes with a big knee. I move. He hits the front of his knee, and then I chop block the shit out of the back of his leg. Now, the whole match, he's been trying to work my good arm, my left arm, so I'll have no arms whatsoever. So every time I'm hitting him and working his leg now, it's still hurting my arm, but I have no choice. He had wrapped my arm across the post, so now I wrap his leg across the post, and we have this moment. It's my favorite moment of the match. It's after I beat the shit out of his leg a little bit, I get back in the ring, and I told Brian, like, be on your knees and just offer a handshake as I come in the ring to mess you up, because I feel like that's something your dad would do. And then he said, totally. He said even better. He's like, what if I cross my fingers behind my back? And I said, yes. And then he said, I'll make sure the camera sees it. And I said, don't just worry about the camera, but make sure, because there's a lot of kids in the front row. I said, make sure those kids even do like a little turn so a couple of those sides can see your fingers crossed, and hopefully they get it. So we have this moment where I get in the ring and I want to clock him, and he sticks out his hand, and I'm like thinking about it, and the kids are going, he's got his fingers crossed. He's got his fingers crossed. And I know, like, we got him, right? So then, I could see his dad in his face, like he's begging me off. I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted. So then I think about it, and I go to pick him up by the hand, like I'm going to shake him. And then as soon as I get him up, I just clock him, and then like blah, blah, blah. And, we do a couple falsies, back to the falsies. Yeah. And, the ending sequence ends up being, he hits me with, I think it was a tiger bomb or something. Boom, I kick out. He hit me with a couple things back to back. And then he's like, F this. Goes to pick up the brace to clock me with it again. I oversell Shawn Michaels style, pulling myself up on the ropes, turn around for the blind feed. Here he comes with the brace. I duck it. And my finishing move is a jumping flatliner, which I call handicap parking. I duck it, hit him with the jumping flatliner. And Brian had this epiphany in the back. The brace fits perfectly on his face. like if you were to just put it on his face. So he says, when I take this flatliner, I'm just going to put the brace on my face. So so I hit him, boom. He puts his face right in the brace. I put him 1, 2, 3, and then he sits up after the match selling it, but it's just stuck on his face. You know what I mean? Like, and so afterwards, they don't know how many dates they were going to be able to get Brian back in for because, he's getting real busy real quick. I mean, why wouldn't he? He's got a good look. Obviously, he's got the lineage. So we did a sign of respect after, and we had this moment where we shook hands, and he was just like, you were right, like you belong. And so who knows where it goes from there, but it was a fun little match, and I really enjoyed working with Brian.
Your finish is called handicap parking.
Handicap parking, bam, yeah.
Get you flack off that.
I mean, when I came up with it, it was like 12 years ago. But here's what I think. Like, I mean, if I had to change it, if WWE wanted to sign me, sure. I do feel like it's a different time now because I do wear a lot of handicap symbols on my gear and stuff. But I've never looked at wearing handicap symbols on my gear as like a negative thing. Like, I always thought like people look at it as a negative thing. When I started putting on my gear, my mindset was, I want to change the way people think about this, because when you see that wheelchair symbol, you just think person in a wheelchair, cripple, incapable of doing anything. But like, I'm not in a wheelchair, right? But I am disabled, and that's a representation of who I am. But like, that doesn't define me. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to put the handicap symbol on my gear as like an empowering thing. Like this is me. But that's okay. Like I want to embrace it. I want to show people that of all disabilities and all types that like, you could do whatever you set your mind to. That's what it comes down to.
All right, let's take a quick pause for the calls and give big ups to the WWE shop. Check it out. If you are a WWE fanatic, then WWECustomTees.com was built for you. Now you can get your WWE apparel the way you want it, available on different colored, super soft t-shirts, tank tops, or hoodies. And they haven't forgot about Legends. WWECustomTees.com lets you in the archives, bringing back designs that haven't been seen in years, with more being added every day. If you love your Stone Cold merchandise, they got you covered. The 100% pure rattlesnake, the smoking skull, Texas Venom, and the iconic Austin 316. Best of all, WWECustomTees.com is powered by WWE Shop, the official online superstore of WWE, so you know you can trust that you're getting quality, authentic WWE merchandise. Just for listeners of the Steve Austin Show, now through October 31st, you can get 15% off your next order at WWECustomTees.com with the code SCSA. You're looking for WWE merch to make you say, oh, hell yeah. Then get over to WWECustomTees.com and use the code SCSA to save 15%. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Go to Geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you can be saving 15% or more on car insurance. That's right. Save hundreds of dollars on car insurance at Geico.com. Extra money in your pocket? It may just be the most rewarding thing you do today.
Alexa isn't the only one with breaking news. Make sure to hang around at the end of this podcast for the latest breaking headlines on the AP News Minute.
All right, the World Series is just around the corner, and PodcastOne Sportsnet is your home for the best coverage around. Listen to expert analysis and rundowns of each game with the Rich Eisen Show, the Dan Patrick Show, Baseball and Chill, and so many more. Listen to these shows exclusively on Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne Sportsnet, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If you like what you hear, tell your friends and leave a rating and review. You know what, folks? I've been hanging upside down lately. Strange, yes, but hear me out. It's called inversion therapy, which uses gravity and your own body weight to decompress your spine and release tension in your shoulders, neck, and joints. Decompressing on my Teeter Inversion Table for a few minutes a day has been a great addition to my routine, helping me maintain a healthy spine and stay active without the pain. I tell you what, man, I've been using that thing about every other day, and just hanging upside down along with all the other things I'm doing, man, this thing is kind of like a great extra tool to help me stay fit and just kind of decompress. After all the times I've been dropped on my head, after all the weight I put on my shoulders, squatting, deadlifting, and stuff like that, when you can kind of use this inversion thing to kind of decompress, it makes you feel like $1 million, and that's the bottom line. And the thing is, man, over 3 million people have put their trust in Teeter, recognized as the best known name in inversion table since 1981, and the only inversion table brand that has been both safety certified by UL Laboratories and FDA registers as a Class 1 medical device. For a limited time, just for listeners of the Steve Austin Show, you can get the brand new 2019 Teeter FitSpine Inversion Table model with bonus accessories, including a lumbar bridge, pressure nodes, a neck pillow, and an instructional DVD for stretches. Plus, you will also get a free pair of gravity boots so you can invert at home or take the boots with you to the gym. This deal is $150 worth of savings, and it's only available at teeter.com/Austin. On top of all that, you'll also get free shipping, free returns, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So there's absolutely no risk to you to try it out. Remember, you can only get the new 2019 Teeter FitSpine Inversion Table, all the accessories, plus a free pair of gravity boots and free shipping by going to teeter.com/Austin. That's TEETER.com/Austin. Do it for your damn back.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
You been doing any motivational speaking?
I have a couple gigs smaller things at libraries. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I've done it with Zach together and we've done some bigger stuff, but like now that I'm trying to do it by myself too, anytime I have some time off from wrestling, if I go to the library and just try to do little group workshops, you know what I mean? Just like almost like getting my feet wet and like figuring out what works and what doesn't, kind of like in wrestling. It's not set in stone. I might have a big speaking gig coming up at Chicago University, which I'm really excited about, but it's really intimidating too in a sense because, yeah, there's that link of wrestling because that's what I'm talking about and it's my life story. So it should be easy to talk about, but it's like a big conference hall and not having that safety net of Zach Allen there with me, like just to like kind of play off of and stuff.
It's like a tag team.
Yeah. Like it's sort of intimidating, but like, I'm excited about it. You know, I got a couple other things potentially lined up, but the Chicago University thing is something that I got lined up that I'm really pumped about.
What's your next booking after the gig tonight?
I don't even know. I'd have to look at my calendar, but November's pretty filled up. Actually, something I'm really excited for, November 24th, I believe, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I told you about my team with RJ City. RJ has been teaming up a lot with David Arquette. So even though we really don't want to, last week at Empire State Wrestling, where we team in Buffalo, after the match, I found out that, to my dismay, that we have no choice but on November 24th to team up with David Arquette. So I did the big, why, like Nancy Kerrigan style, like I just got hit in the back of the leg, cause, God forbid.
And you're in heel mode, right?
Yeah, I'm in heel mode. So from what I understand, it's going to be me, David Arquette, and RJ City against a gentleman by the name of Puff, who's, he's a bigger gentleman. He likes the donuts. He's a fun-loving guy. Dick Justice, who is a super cop. He likes to pull out a finger gun during his match. That's a big spot he likes to do. And Space Monkey. So it's he's a monkey from outer space. So it's going to be the most ridiculous match possible. And I'm very excited about that. So that's really what I'm looking forward to in November as far as wrestling goes.
Man, what are your thoughts on David Arquette? I mean, the dude's a trained actor. He goes way back. His dad was an actor. Maybe his grandfather was an actor way, way back.
Yeah.
So he's had tremendous success. But he loves the wrestling business. And he came over. He's sitting right where you were.
Yeah.
And, man, I had a great time talking to that guy. What a super cat. And he just loves the damn wrestling business. And it was right after he had wrestled RJ City. Mm-hmm. I saw about 4 minutes of the match. But what's your take on that guy? Coming out of the acting world where he could clearly, stay busy and continue doing work. And he produces a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But
the fact that dude wants to continue to learn the business and stay on the road and work and be a wrestler.
Yeah, I think he gets too much flack. I mean, I listened to the episode with you guys and like you could just hear in his voice, like, dude genuinely loves wrestling and, who can't have respect for that? And obviously, everyone talks about how he's a former WCW champion, and it's like
that was almost like a rib. I mean, he's kind of humbled by it or embarrassed by it. I mean, and that wasn't his idea.
Yeah, but also, if you look back at it, like WCW at that time, the ratings weren't so good in the middle of 2000, and like they got, for at least a couple weeks, like a level of exposure that at that point they just weren't getting anymore. Like they were on the front of USA Today, and they had cameos from his wife at the time, Courtney Cox, on Nitro. Which apparently, from what I understand, they weren't paid money for that. You know what I mean? Courtney Cox wasn't. She just did it. So it helped Nitro for at least a couple weeks as far as getting exposure. And like you said, it wasn't his idea. So it's like I just like the idea that like dude could just be in Hollywood, being an actor, doing his thing. But for whatever reason, like he's compelled to come into this wrestling world once again. And I think it just sounds like he wants to prove that's like, that happened in 2000, the WCW championship thing, but like, I don't know. He wants to prove that like he's a genuine fan and that he wants to do things the right way. I mean, the dude's been getting training and on the road. I've been seeing him driving with RJ. He's going to be in the car with me when we head to Buffalo. So it's like he wants to learn the ropes, man.
So you're going to be on the road with him?
Yeah.
You're going to book the territory. Let me know how that turns out.
Yeah.
What I like about it is, it's like, sometimes you come out here, or in anything you do in life, it's like, okay, just because he's out here, he's been in show business, or like, because I did a couple of bogus low budget movies, people think, oh man, why don't you do more acting? No, I don't want to. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. My stuff with, some of the reality shows and my podcasts and, being a brand rep for Kawasaki, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like David, oh, hey man, dude, you're an actor, producer. Well, you need to do this. I don't do what people expect me to do or think I should do. I do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I think that's what David's doing. I mean, dude has a passion for the business, and so more power to him. He'll go out there and get on the damn road.
Absolutely.
And just see if you can get 150 gigs a year. That's an experience.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, like, I think all the money he gets goes right to charity too, which, how can you have a problem with that, man? What a good dude,
Well, I had my favorite places to wrestle back in the day. Chicago was always a stronghold for me. I love being in Texas, love being in the South. Northeast with population density, Madison Square Garden was a cool building. Coming out to the West Coast was cool. We had our, one spot over in Toronto, the Econo Lodge where all the boys used to stay. And sometimes we're hotter than the other ones. And then when you're working on loop across Canada, across the B and C towns, tennis wasn't that great, but it's just being on the road and having fun.
Yeah.
You in the indie scene, is there a particular part of the United States that you like or favor better than other parts?
Well, I've been spending a lot of my days in Canada, so I really enjoy like that. It's a tinier crowd, like only 200 people that come out to Hamilton and other parts of Ontario where Alpha One runs. But I really enjoy that crowd because they're very emotionally invested in the characters and the stories. And Ethan Page is the promoter, and being a worker, he's not only a great worker, but like he's one of the few guys that run independent shows that I feel like from top to bottom, he makes everything on the card feel like it matters. Like no matter what role you're playing as a character, no matter what match you're in, like everything makes sense, has logic, and the shows are 2 hours. So it's like the perfect time for like fans. It's the perfect time for a wrestler. You don't want to be hanging around for a 4-hour show. So I love going to Alpha One. Olde Wrestling is the same deal. Fontaine runs those shows so tight, 2 hours in and out. Everything makes sense. Everything matters. And he runs primarily throughout northern Ohio. So like it's basically like being home. But, I always loved Chicago too, man. Working for AAW back in the day, that's where I did the thing with CM Punk. And once that happened with me, Punk, and Cabana, the crowd just really took to me. And so that atmosphere with the AAW crowd was always really special. And bar wrestling and HoodSlam, I love the idea that there's no barricades. The guys are right up on the ring. And you almost feel like they're in the ring with you, and you just feed off that energy from the crowd, and they pack you.
Tell me about HoodSlam for a minute, because AJ Kurz, we're pretty good friends.
Yeah.
He came through and promoted the 2K19 video game, which he had a big part of, and was a voice, and did a lot of the motion capture stuff. And I know he hosts or MCs the HoodSlam stuff.
Yeah.
But I still don't really have a grasp of it. Is there just nothing sacred or anything goes? What is it?
I feel like there's a lot of anything goes with HoodSlam. So, there's a place that I used to work for back in, they used to run Midwest and East Coast called Chikara. Okay. So they have like a bunch of like comic book style.
Who started that? Because I've been hearing that name forever.
Mike Quackenbush.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
whatever happened to that guy? Because I hear his name a whole lot.
He's still around. Like he wrestles every once in a while, but for the most part, he just really focuses on Chikara.
I heard he's really good.
He is really good, man. Like technical wizard. It's incredible.
Okay. Keep going.
So, so they have a lot of comic book style type characters and stuff, a lot of gimmicky gimmicks, you know what I mean? So I feel like HoodSlam is kind of like that. Chikara is PG. I think HoodSlam is like the R-rated version of that. It's more for the adult audience. Like when I went to HoodSlam back in February, I wrestled a man by the name of Cereal Man. So he's just a guy that comes out in a big cereal mask that he created himself, which is pretty incredible. It's almost like, you ever see any of the Kaiju Big Battle stuff? Do you know what I'm talking about? So the Kaiju Big Battle is basically these crazy wrestling monsters, almost like Godzilla. And they just do ridiculous stuff. Like there's robots, and they make these ridiculous costumes. So he basically made his own Cereal Man type mask based off this kaiju stuff. And he could put cereal in the mask. So one of his big spots is like he'll pour cereal out of his head, and like it'll be like sharp cereal, like I don't know what's the
Basically, he's loading up.
Yeah. So like the sharper cereal he'll pour on the ground, and one of the spots is, he'll slam you onto the cereal and you got to sell it like it's like thumbtacks, you know what I mean? So like he's a good dude, man. Like when I got there and I worked Cereal Man, I think we had like 10 minutes, but one of the dudes running stuff in the back, he was like, you guys can go as long as you want. So I was like, brother, let's put on an epic. So me and Cereal Man, we went like 25 minutes, and like the crowd was behind it the whole time. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I was feeling froggy that night. I could have went 10, but I wanted to work. So like I put in the work, 25 minutes, and he wore a special cereal helmet that was built like Hollywood Hogan. So he's like playing a shitty guitar when he comes out, and he was doing some Hulk Hogan spots. But man, it was just a good time. So yeah, HoodSlam, it's just R-rated Chikara, man. Anything goes.
So, but a lot of gaga.
A lot of gaga, a lot of characters.
What's your barometer on, okay, where you work, and different promotions can be built on solid work than other with the gaga? Where do you fit in all this as far as how far you're going to go in either one? Right, because I know you're a good worker.
I feel like if the crowd is into it and it's making some sort of money, I feel like we're in a time where you can really make anything work. And I feel like, because I don't know, I've run the gamut as far as like what I can do as a character. I feel like people, for me specifically, maybe just look at me as like the pro wrestler with cerebral palsy, the handicapped wrestler, right? But I feel like I want people to look at me and go, he's a pro wrestler who just happens to be handicapped, right? So like when I have the opportunity to not only just be my regular underdog babyface self, but like maybe could be this funny character that wears a sombrero, or wrestle a guy who pours cereal into the ring and sell that and make people laugh. I mean, for me, it comes down to just creating an emotion, evoking emotion out of people. And like more than anything, if I can make someone laugh, I mean, that's how I've always been as a dude. It's like, if I can like crack a joke, talk crap, make people smile and laugh, like that's what it's all about for me. So I think anything's possible. I mean, you had Joey on the show. I worked Joey Ryan in Canada, Dick versus Dick match, because I suffered just over a year ago a severe penile injury in a match.
How did you get that severe penile injury?
Okay. That is a story in itself. I'll try to make it the shorter version. So I was doing a show in New Jersey. It was me, Gowan, and Matt Cross traveling together from Cleveland. And on the way there, got into a car accident. Not enough that we got hurt or injured or the car was undrivable, just enough that it was an inconvenience to my life. And the whole time I'm like, God damn it, mother effer. And so I'm just not in a good mood. We get to the show. Me and Zach are working these two bigger dudes. Just, you could tell calling the match, it wasn't going to be good, right? You could just tell, like, stuff was off. They wanted to call things psychology-wise that didn't make sense, and me and Zach try to make sense of it, and they would kind of get, like, standoffish to where it was like, come on, guys. Like, like, I remember one of the guys wanted to, like, German suplex me, like, a bunch in, like, the opening spot, and I was like, I'm 5'4", I have cerebral palsy, like, and then I was gonna run a shine on him after that. And I'm like, how does that even work? That doesn't make any sense, you know? So
run a shine. So I'm gonna get my good guy go get your shit in.
Fancy moves
after the Germans.
Yeah. So like,
how about getting the shine on before the Germans?
Right. Like, how about you do those Germans later? Because I'm 5'4". We don't even need to do that in the beginning. Yeah. So I remember I just looked at Zach in the back after we planned the match, and their music hit and they're going to the ring, and Zach, he could just tell I wasn't feeling it. He's like, "What's wrong?" And I was just like, I don't know, man, this isn't going to be good. And he was like, do you want to change something? I was like, it's too late now. Let's do what we have, right? Like, I just had a bad feeling. So we go out there and like, we're doing the match and guys are forgetting stuff and they're potatoing the shit out of me. And they're like big dudes. So like,
how long have you been working?
I don't know. Not long enough.
Okay.
So they're potatoing me and I'm like kind of potatoing them back like, hey, stop it. And at one point, like one of them knees me, feels like in the kidney, like really hard. And I'm just getting pissed. And like, I'm looking at Zach on the apron because we've had these situations before. And I'm looking at Zach and I'm giving him this look with my eyes like, and he knows like, oh man, like Greg's getting hot, right? They're forgetting stuff. And I feel like, cause wrestling is an art form, right? So I feel like especially in like bigger tag matches, it's like I'm letting you two guys in on our art form. You know what I mean? Like you guys are allowed to contribute to this. So I just want you guys to paint some nice colors and make it pretty like we're trying to do. But I feel like they're taking a shit all over this canvas instead of adding anything to it. So I'm getting real hot about it, right?
They're only using brown.
Yeah. Just strictly brown. So eventually I tag Zach. He runs his basic comeback because we try to call our basic stuff to not complicate the situation. What we usually do is he runs the hot tag. We do a spot where I blind tag him right before he dives to the outside. And one of the guys, he comes back in, flatlines the other guy. I've already become the legal man. I'll do an elbow off the top rope. Boom. Big falsie. 1, 2, kick out, right? So everything's already going wrong in this match. I blind tag Zach. He does the dive to the floor. He slides back in. He hits the flatliner. I'm already at top for the elbow. I hit the elbow. Boom. I pin. Count doesn't even happen. The ref goes, you're not legal. You're not legal. And then I just snapped. I stood up because I'd been having a bad day. I had been having a bad year. Okay. Like it was not good. So I felt like, cause like, a few months earlier, my girlfriend had broke up with me. We were in a long-term relationship. And I just felt like this moment right there was the culmination of a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. So I stood up. And I look at the ref and I go, what the F? Like right in his face. And the whole crowd's like, oh. And I'm just like, you effing suck. And then like I look at Zach, I'm like, these guys effing suck. And he's looking at me like, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, I understand that what I'm doing is not good, but I've checked out. And so I look at the guy who's been potatoing me and messing up the match, and he's standing up, and I know what the next spot is, but I know based on how this match is going, he does not know. So I go, hey, I'm running at you, effing throw me off. So I run at him and he throws me off. And I call the spot so the whole crowd could hear. Cause I'm going like Shawn Michaels, 1996, he would have been blushing at the way I was acting in the ring for this match. So he throws me off and, I pass him into the corner and Zach's waiting for a kick. Gives him a kick. I hit him with my jumping flatliner, handicap parking, boom. Now the other guy is supposed to be in position on the floor for me to hit him with a suicide dive. So it's real quick. Boom, boom. I look. He's nowhere close. If I dive, I'm going to hit the floor. So I yell, effing get closer. I'm coming for that suicide dive. So he moves up. I dive on him and I look at the crowd like, these guys effing suck. And the crowd's going crazy, not because of anything special, but because of the fact that I'm losing my actual mind. And then I go up to the top rope for something else. Some falsie happened. I go up top and I'm going to crotch myself. But I'm not even in position. So usually, my wing is like, a little bit above the turnbuckle so I can go down, brace myself, make it look good. I'm not even ready. It's probably maybe half a centimeter above the buckle. Much like the rest of the match, this guy's timing's off. He just hits my leg. I kind of crotch myself, but it doesn't hurt. Nothing happens. I know it looks like shit. So I'm just kind of sitting there trying to sell it, but I'm pissed off. Whatever. Match ends. I go to the back. I'm livid. And Zach's like, what's wrong? I'm like, these guys effing suck and blah, blah, blah. He's just like, oh, well, just calm down. I'm like, I'll tell them to their face. And I was like, you guys suck. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm done. And I sit down and, this is not typical me, by the way. This is just,
doesn't sound like
it's the culmination of like a lot of frustration and just like, I was being hurt out there. And so I sit down and the ref comes over to me and he's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine, man. And I'm looking down, at my tights and I see like what appears to be a little spot of blood on my tights. And so I look at Zach and I go, great, my dick's probably bleeding. And I say it like it's like almost like a half angry joke. And so I walk to the bathroom, and as I'm walking to the bathroom, the spot of blood is growing. Because this show is not the best show, but the bathroom is shared by the fans. So I have to turn my back from the fans, and I open my tights. And you can imagine, to my dismay, as I open my trunks, there is blood pouring out of my dick hole. So I'm freaking out, and I go back and get Zach, and I go, Zach, come to the bathroom, come to the bathroom, come to the bathroom. And we're walking there. And he goes, what's wrong? I go, blood's coming out of my actual dick right now. And he goes, show me. And then in my head, I'm like, I don't want to show Zach my penis. Like, oh, God. Like I look up to this guy. I used to watch him on TV, and I know we're friends now, but I really don't want to show him my dick. But I have to.
Yeah, but
it seems like it seems like
it's not necessarily a doctor, but you need confirmation.
Yeah, I need confirmation that there is blood pouring out of my pee hole. So we go to the bathroom, same same bathroom with the fans, and we turn our backs, and I open my trunks, and now my hog is like pointing towards the floor. So now the blood is pouring on the floor, and Zach goes, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I know." So we go back to the locker room, and it's a very small locker room. Also,
so he didn't try to tie a tourniquet around.
No, I think I would have stopped him. So it's a small locker room. No. It's funny in retrospect. So we go back to this locker room. It's like the size of a prison cell. MVP is on the show. I've never even met MVP. In this locker room are like a few guys. MVP, Teddy Hart's in there. Zach's in there. Matt Cross comes back in there, and he sees what's happening. I took off my trunks, and now I'm laying on the floor naked. Someone had handed me a shirt. So I'm just laying there with someone's shirt on my dick, trying to stop this bleeding. And I feel like I'm going to pass out. And I'm just wondering myself, Steve, I'm thinking, what did I do in my life to get to this moment right here, right now? Like I must have been, I've done something horribly wrong. So typical cheap wrestler. You know, most guys don't have insurance. I have insurance because I work, with adults with developmental disabilities during the week. But Matt's brain goes to, oh, well, we don't want Greg to pay for an ambulance. So he goes, oh, we'll gather Greg's stuff and we'll just drive to the hospital. And I go, oh, no. Blood's coming out of my dick. I want to make sure this is okay. We're going to call 911. So we call 911. Ambulance comes. They put me on a stretcher. They check
What do you say when you call 911, your dick's bleeding?
I didn't call, so I don't know.
An emergency. Gregory Irons' dick's bleeding.
I mean, what can you say?
We're on our way.
We have a severe penile injury, internal penile
Guy hurt his hog.
Yeah, it was not good. So they show up and they check my pulse. And the guys
grab your dick or your arm.
They grab my arm and the guy goes, "Your pulse is low." And I said, am I going to die from bleeding out of my dick?
That's when you're in a moment of crisis, and it could have been anything, your leg, this, side, whatever. It was your dick.
What?
But all of a sudden they say your pulse is low or soft. Or whatever. It's like, okay, now you really make me freak out. My dick's bleeding. Now you tell me my heartbeat's kind of effed up.
Yeah. Well, because like I
said, natural question, am I going to die?
Well, that's what I said because I said if I die,
you bled to death from your dick.
That's what I said. I said if I die and I bleed to death from this, can you not put that on my obituary? And he's like, yeah, we'll try to work that out. And I'm thinking to myself, wait, am I going to die? Like, oh
so
my
what
God.
happened? They load you up in an ambulance.
So here's the thing. So MVP, Teddy Hart helps me on the stretcher because I can't stand up now. Like, I'm incapable of walking because, like, now the pain is setting in. MVP still in the locker room. The two guys that have basically done this, as I'm getting carted out on the stretcher in this small, tiny locker room, none of them ask if I'm okay. Neither one of them. The one guy, as I'm going by before I'm even out of the locker room, looks at MVP and goes, hey, man, can I get a picture with you? And I was like, oh, my God. Like, if I could get up and beat the crap out of you, like, I would. I probably couldn't because he was really huge, but, like, I would at least try because I'm like, how disrespectful and ignorant. So I get to the hospital and they're trying to get this catheter in me, but they can't. So they keep jamming it in and out, which is horrifying. And so now they're thinking that maybe it's because it's torn that we can't get this in, but there's no urologist. So I have to wait a little bit, and two people are going to take me to x-ray my member, okay? So I go in this x-ray room, and they tell me it's going to take 5 minutes. And I'm laying there, naked. Blood is still kind of dripping out. It's subsided a little bit, and I have to lay, like, sideways, almost like chick from Titanic. So I say to the girl as I'm laying there, because I'm trying to make the best of the situation, I said, so are you going to paint me like one of your French girls? And she just stares at me like stone face. And I said, well, you could at least laugh at my joke. I mean, I'm only bleeding out of my penis right now. It's no big deal. It's the worst night of my life. So in order to x-ray a penis, you need to, one person stretches your penis, okay? And the other person stick something in your pee hole and shoots dye into it, and it doesn't feel good. And they try to numb it beforehand, but you still feel it. And they have to hold it in a certain position and boom, take a picture, and then they're going to send it to the urologist who's at home. So 5-minute process, supposedly. I hear the doctor go, we didn't take the right photo. We got to do it again. So I'm like, oh, dear God. So this 5-minute process, supposedly, ends up taking 2 hours.
God. Dang.
Because they can't get this picture right. So by morning,
why don't you use Polaroid?
You would. I mean,
Polaroid would have worked.
Would have worked faster. Like just wave it a little bit. By the morning, the urologist comes in. They have to put a camera in my dick, and they still can't decide based on the camera whether or not my penis is torn or not. So they decide, well, we think it might just be a bruise. Give us a little bit. We'll just let you go home.
All this time has gone by. Have you taken a leak yet?
Yes, but it was very painful, and it took a lot because there's a burning sensation. Yeah. And again, I don't know what's going on in there. So it's like I had to like prop my leg up on the only way I could pee is propping my leg up on the toilet, like in a certain position and just like hoping for the best and just easing it out. Yeah. It was horrible. Eventually they decide like, oh, we're going to let you go home, but you might need a catheter, but we don't know yet. So I'm like, oh, well, of course it's not going to be that bad. They're going to come back and they're going to say it's good to go. So then they come back like, all right, you're free to go. I'm like, great. And they go, so we're going to put this catheter on you. And I'm like, come on, are you kidding me right now? So they put a little catheter on my leg, and I have to go back to the doctor in like 5 days or something, and they're going to make a final decision whether it's torn or it's a bruise or whatever. So now we have to drive back from New Jersey, 8 hours to Cleveland. And every 2 hours, we have to stop and empty my piss bag that's now on my leg. And I usually wear some kind of tight pants or joggers. I have to wear hospital scrubs. So every 2 hours, we're stopping at a gas station. I get out of the car looking like a complete idiot because it's a whole process of like, and like pulling my legs out. And then I walk like inch by inch into the gas station to go into the bathroom and then empty my bag. And I just look like a moron. Maybe the worst part of this whole thing was my roommate is Ricky Shane Page, another wrestler. And I was going to have a hard time showering and changing my bag because of my hand. So my only option, my most comfortable option, was also my most uncomfortable option. I ended up staying for like 4 days with my ex-girlfriend, who had seen me naked a few times, so she could help me shower, change my bag, and the hell of an ex. I had to borrow some tampons from her because it was still dripping blood. I would have to put them in my underwear. It was horrifying. But you know what? Out of all this comes a funny story. By midweek, I find out that it's just a tear, or I'm sorry, just a bruise, not a tear. Thank God, because I've never had surgery. Wouldn't want to start there. And basically, I get a funny story, and then we set up this match with Joey Ryan where the idea is Dick versus Dick. I'm gonna
train. Hold on.
Okay.
You got the bruised dick.
Yep.
So it just healed up.
Yeah, well,
You're good to go.
Yeah, so the catheter.
So what move do you think you did? Or was it on the crotch?
It was on the crotching. Okay. It had to be on the crotching because my
X-Pac was here a long time ago and he went to do his Bronco Buster. Dude moved. He tore his anus on the damn turnbuckle. I mean, we were laughing about it.
Yeah.
Shit, it was really, really serious for him.
Yeah, for sure.
This is really serious for you.
Yeah.
I mean, because out of all things, man, when I got dropped on my head, I almost got paralyzed. That was a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
If I'd have got dropped on my dick, I wouldn't have been able to use my dick anymore. That'd have been a bad day at the office, too.
Yeah.
Two wholly different spectrums, but
yeah.
each equally devastating.
Well, I don't know if you know the situation. Like, Johnny Knoxville did something to his dick a while back, like doing one of those jackass things. And it was damaged pretty much beyond repair. And my brain immediately went to his situation. And I was just thankful that it still works and it is functioning and we are A-okay.
So, fast forward to the match. How'd that match go?
Match went well. We did a bunch of penis-related stuff. I tried to flip Joey with my penis because I thought it was so incredibly strong, but I just couldn't. And Joey ended up flipping me with his, and by the end of the match, he, quote, re-broke my penis, so I lost all my powers. And he ended up, he didn't win. I ended up winning in the end, but he did re-break my penis, and I guess that in itself is a win.
Dude, that's to me, that's one of the worst things, you don't want to go to the hospital for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was only one night. I mean, it was more of an inconvenience to have the catheter in me for like the 3 or 4 days because it's like I couldn't do anything. And like I love working out and like being athletic. So like just the idea that I couldn't work out for like 4 days killed me more than anything. Just sitting around doing nothing because I got this tube in my dong.
Were you thinking, hey, God, I'm never going to have sex again?
Oh, well, if that was the case, I would have just, is Dr. Kevorkian still a thing? Because I would have reached out to him. There's got to be someone like him out there, right? Because
So no lasting repercussions, you're good to go?
I'm good to go, man. I should probably make that clear because I did do a show a few weeks after that when I was feeling better. And I was like just talking trash, like saying whatever in the locker room. And like one of the women wrestlers heard me talking about my dong, and she said, "Oh, you still use that thing? I thought it was broken forever." And I said, "Oh, is that the rumor going around? Because that is Oh, God, I have to set the record straight. That is not a thing. It is good to go. It works, just so you know.
You brought up MJF's name during the story on your way out. Are you guys cool?
He talks a lot of trash. I think Max could have a bright future if you just lightened up on the attitude a little bit. I seen he was giving you a little bit of sass when he was on the podcast.
You threw water on me and sitting right in the damn chair you are, threw water on me and then hauled us out the door before I catch his sorry ass.
Wow.
And I don't know if he'll ever be back on the show again. If he does, I'll probably whip his ass before we start talking. But
wow.
Totally disrespected me and left in a bit of a scramble.
Yeah.
Talented guy.
Great.
I like his work. Only guy that's ever Ubered over in a Rolls Royce. He didn't want to talk about it on the show because that's how humble he is.
Wow.
But
good dude.
From what I see, pretty talented kid. We'll see where the future takes him.
He's really talented, and he's only like 22, and just he's got charisma, and he's got his promo down. And you know what? I knew all those things, and I said to myself, this kid's probably going to make a lot of money one day. The thing that solidified it for me, I don't think he mentioned this on the show. As a kid, he was on the Rosie O'Donnell show, and the video is somewhere on his Instagram or on YouTube or something, and they asked him, you like wrestling? Who are your favorite wrestlers? And he said, I like The Rock and Goldberg. And so what he said, as soon as I saw that, I was like, and he had so much charisma as a kid. That was the thing that I saw that I was like, this kid is going to make $1 million one day, for sure.
Hey, what you got coming up next? And where can people find you on social media?
Basically, the biggest match I got coming up in the near future will be for Empire State Wrestling on November 24th. Me, RJ City, and David Arquette versus Space Monkey, Dick Justice, and Puff. I am on social media at Gregory Iron on Twitter, at Gregory_Iron on Instagram, Facebook.com/The Handicapped Hero. And if you can't remember any of that, I'm at Gregory-Iron.com. And you can book me for wrestling and motivational speaking, keynote speaking, workshops with me by myself or with Zach Gowen.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Good talking to you. You've got a decision to make.
What's that?
You can take the window, you can take the stairs.
Well, I don't know. I'm dealing with Stone Cold Steve Austin, so I guess, got to hear that glass shatter, right?
Good call.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, it's Natalie Eva Marie, and I am so excited. I have a brand new show on PodcastOne called The Natalie Eva Marie Show, co-hosting with my husband, Jonathan Coyle.
Handsome husband, babe.
And you guys might know me from WWE, Total Divas, my fashion line, NEM Fashion.
And you guys might know me from the CrossFit world and the fitness community. I'm really, really pumped for this show. We get to interview the kings and queens of their respective fields. I'm talking celebrities, athletes, activists, people that are top of the line in business. I'm really, really excited.
Anything that you guys want to hear about, we're going to talk about, including whatever guests you guys want us to have on. You will be included 100%.
Oh, absolutely. We want this to be very, very interactive. You guys tell us who you want to bring on, and we'll bring them on.
That's right. So you guys make sure to download new episodes of The Natalie Eva Marie Show every Wednesday on Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne, and the PodcastOne app. And make sure to rate and review.
And rate and review 5 stars.
That's right. Take us to the top, baby.
Anything less than 5 will not be accepted.
All right, everybody, give me the go-home cues. Time to wrap up this podcast right off in sunset. Before I do that, I want to thank my buddy Gregory Iron for coming by the podcast studio today here at 317 Gimmick Street. It's always good seeing you. And let me plug my IPA. Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA, developed by myself and Rob Croxall at El Segundo Brewing Company. Best fucking IPA in the United States of America, and that's the bottom line. You can find this IPA, my IPA, at Whole Foods and Total Wines if you live in Cali. And if you ain't in Cali, you're probably shit out of luck. And if you're looking to get a badass pocket knife, I happen to have 2 available for you. The one I use on patrol when I'm running the mean streets of Los Angeles, California. The Cold Steel Broken Skull knife, or the new Working Man's knife. And you can get them at my new Amazon store. Amazon's got the best price on both knives. Just go to Amazon.com/shop/Steve Austin. And I got to say one more thank you to all the fine sponsors of the Steve Austin Show, especially BetOnline.ag, WWE Shop, Geico, Teeter, and the CW. That's how I'm able to do this podcast for you twice a week for free. Please support them because they support us. And if you need more info on my sponsors, check out the show description for this episode for details. Folks, I am on social media, Twitter and Instagram, at Steve Austin BSR. The BSR stands for Broken Skull Ranch, motherfucker. Folks, until next time, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
This has been a PodcastOne production. Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.